Unless I'm wearing blue. So I just blend in with the wall.
That's all for the modern girl, gentlemen. What else? Ask me anything.
Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, my name is Caitlin and I'm so happy to have you. Today's video is a bit different in format as I'm going to be sharing what I've learned from sewing, and I've put it together so that it creates 5 reasons to start sewing in the new year. Before we jump into the 5 reasons to start sewing in the new year, I wanted to share some background in my own sewing experience and give you a little bit of context of where I'm coming from. So I purchased my sewing machine in the summer of 2019 and was intimidated by it and didn't actually touch it until November of 2019 when I finally sewed and shortened a hem of a dress. Funny enough, I actually had pinned the new hemline in September and then again didn't touch it for about 2 months before I had the nerve to set up the machine and actually sew. I would say that I officially started sewing in January of 2020. That was the first time that I had an actual sewing pattern that I picked out and worked on and created a finished product with. So hopefully that gives you some context of where I began and now where I am as I speak to these 5 reasons for you to start sewing. So let's go. Let's start out with fixing and mending. Whew, this is a really important one that I did not learn to value until I started doing it myself. When you learn to fix and mend your own clothes, you start taking better care of your clothing pieces. Before I learned to sew, if something got a hole in it or was missing a button, my previous outlook was that it was ruined and it had to go. And that just simply isn't true. I treat my clothes more kindly as a result of knowing how to sew and mend. Not that I was ever terribly hard on them, but naturally being pretty lazy, knowing that it'll create more work for me to fix if they get messed up means I care for them more now to prevent extra work later. Fixing and mending my clothes also made me realize that taking care of your things is an extension of taking care of yourself. You are looking out for yourself by making sure that what you're wearing is not only something that you're comfortable in and that it makes you feel good, but also you're then looking out for your finances by making sure that you're not just going and spending money and replacing items when they get worn down. And fixing and mending things is a great way to build up small little bits of confidence. You're building confidence by showing that you can fix small issues that most people would resolve by just throwing out. All right, next up is alterations. Alterations is a game changer. I did not realize what a difference it really can make by just pulling something in here or letting out a seam there, and what an impact it had on the silhouette and the line of the clothes that I was wearing. When I started to learn about that and how just the slightest changes here and there to an outfit or a piece worked, it elevated everything and completely changed the fit and how comfortable I was in it. I did not realize that I was just on almost an autopilot setting of what my expectations were for my clothes. And when I learned to alter my clothes and to make sure that they were really fit to me, it deeply impacted my day-to-day in a way that I never anticipated or would have expected. This has now been extended for me so that when I go and I purchase an item, whether it is new or secondhand, I'm able to alter the item so that it meets my needs exactly. Clothes off the rack cover a general measurement that is intended to cover a general group of the public. I've experienced a clothing item fitting almost everywhere except maybe one area. And then when I either sized up or sized down, realizing that the problem would just shift to a different place once I had resolved the original problem that was in the different size. Knowing that I can find an item that ticks off almost all of the boxes and may just need a slight adjustment that I can make myself truly makes me feel more comfortable and empowered in my own clothes. The next reason is knowledge. Obviously, I've learned a lot about sewing through my experience, my hands-on experience, and a lot of trial and error. Doing and undoing during this phase to get the right fit, fine, fit, line, look, and comfort. I don't know what's going on here. Let's look at these directions from, what year is this? 1912. Slash facings under buttonholes. Well, spoiler alert, I did not put a facing in with these buttonholes. Oops, we'll just find out what happens. But also in the process, I've learned about quality control. Why so many fashion brands have such a low bar when it comes to quality control. I'm not going to go into all of the details because there are people who have already done so in a really intensive and intentional way. So I will go ahead and link some of their videos below. All right, next up we have taking on a new skill is exercise for your brain. Here is a great quote that I found, and I'll go ahead and share it here. Every new skill you learn stimulates the growth of new neural pathways. As you allow your creativity to flow through sewing projects, you promote the growth of new brain cells. It may also help to keep neural connections stable, resulting in a sharper mind as you age. And that brings us to the last reason, which is confidence and freedom. Designing and creating what you want to wear. This last one was actually my why I began sewing myself. I didn't see what I wanted to wear. It was either cheaply made and expensive, or it was well made and expensive. Now, I have no problem paying for quality items when need be, but I am more inclined to want to save a buck or two. So that's when I decided that I wanted to learn to sew. It was going to be an investment in myself and in my future, and was a way that I knew that I could have more input and control over how I wanted to dress. And most importantly, I could make sure that it was being fitted to my body and my measurements, and ultimately creating that empowerment and confidence that I was talking about earlier with Alterations. Thank you all so much for watching this video and joining me on these 5 reasons to learn to sew in the new year. I hope that those of you who have an inclination to sew and have been on the fence use this as an encouragement for you to jump in and join the sewing community and find what it is that you would like to create. You've got this. Please leave in the comments below what it is that you'd like to sew in this new year, and I can't wait to talk to you. All right, Happy New Year, everyone, and I'll see you all in the next one. Bye. I don't know where I'm going with that. For real now.